We're live, Angie.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Saturday Morning Live on Network 1901. If you are just joining us without realizing what our topic is about because we just released what it is, then you're not alone. Today we are talking about Disney animated films that would do well as live action movies. And obviously we have a lot of Disney animated films getting turned into live action movies already, like Mulan, Aladdin, Dumbo, Winnie the Pooh, all stuff that I think I'm really excited for. But things we've gotten in the past, such as Beauty and the Beast, Maleficent, and Cinderella, I think a lot of people have mixed reviews on. So today I want to talk about what you think. How can Disney redeem itself by making more
amazing live action?
More Disney animated films into live action films. But before we get started, if you're in the chat, say hi. Let us know you're here. Let everybody in the chat know you're here. We'll be coming to you about midway through the show with our Q&A. But other than that, I just want to quickly jump in while you guys are kind of introducing yourselves in the chat. And normally we would start the show at this point, but I just want to plug that we are going to be at Dapper Day next weekend. So we're still going to be doing Saturday Morning Live, but
we're doing it from the convention floor an hour before we do the floor opens. So actually, I'm going to try and wander the floor and see some stuff, and you guys might get a sneak peek before anybody else does.
So there's a chance that I may be setting up the booth while you're doing this. And not be in Saturday Morning Live.
Hopefully we'll have the whole booth set up. We'll see. But we'll give you a tour.
We'll figure out the nitty gritty details.
Right.
Once we get to it. But let's just jump right into it. First of all, I just want to quickly say hello to a couple people in the chat I already see. I saw Benson, who's always here. Phoebe, Peter Carrero, Lori, Noel. Thank you guys so much for joining us. You guys are just, you guys really help. You're always here.
This was put together. I totally forgot.
Yeah.
It's way last minute, so we're glad that you showed up.
Okay, our schedule for Dapper Day, and I'm not exaggerating, has literally been 4 hours of sleep every night. We have gotten 8 hours or like 6 hours sometimes, but the average has been 4 hours of sleep every night for the past 2 months, a month and a half maybe. It's gonna be 2 months by the end of it.
I ended up getting like pretty sick. Like last week I did a Q&A and I was like really sick. I'm still kind of sick.
So, but anyway, Josh, why don't you start off our show? What do you think would be a good Disney animated film to turn into a live action?
So first of all, when they announced Mulan, I thought, oh, that's a great live action film. And then they said that it wasn't a musical, and a lot of people are upset about it not being a musical. Mm-hmm. But I kind of agree that if you're going to make like a big war epic, there shouldn't be some like song and dance tunes in the middle of it.
Right.
So I kind of am in love with doing Mulan already, but if I was
you're
to
cheating.
Pick,
they're already doing that, Josh.
I know. Well, they're already doing a lot of them. But I would actually like to see them, and this is a possibility that they may do The Black Cauldron, which didn't work as an animated film, so maybe they can make it work now as a live action film.
Right. So you said they're already doing a lot of films coming up. So I'm gonna say some films that I don't even know. Maybe they are already going to be doing them. Because I just thought Jungle Book's another one that they just did.
Yeah.
And that made me think I would love to see. And they're doing The Lion King.
Yep.
So
those are already off the list.
Yeah, but what I was gonna say was that idea of having animals come to life in like with CG and like a mix of like whatever like motion capture they're doing. I don't even know how that works. Like how much of that is CG, how much of that's motion capture of like actual movements of the animals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that made me think I'd actually like to see a Pocahontas remake. And I know maybe I'm being biased here because Pocahontas is like one of my favorite Disney films, period. Disney animated or Disney period films. But I want to see like a CG Miko. really, really bad.
Would your Pocahontas be more true to life?
No,
Or
not
would,
if
it would be
if
very
they
much
were
the
doing-
Disney show.
Okay, if they were doing a live remake, you know what? Yes, it would be real. It would be the real story. If they're gonna do it now, in 2000, say they'll do it in 2000 and like one of the 2020s it comes out, they have to do it real, right? I was gonna say no. My first instinct was to say no because I was thinking remake.
Yeah.
But you know what? Like, none of these other remakes are like
Are real
an
true.
exact retelling of the story, right? So
Yeah.
it wouldn't be a retelling of like the Pocahontas story before. It would be like a real one now. So she'd be a child, and there would be no love story between her and John Smith. Which, was there a love story in real life between the child Pocahontas and John Smith? If there was,
No.
don't put that in the movie.
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
that's one thing that you can leave out.
No, but she actually did fall in love with someone else. So
Yeah. So, what would be another one that you... Oh, yeah, she ended up falling in love with the other John.
Yeah.
John,
I forget his
whoever the ones in the second movie is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was trying to think like really hard about what would work because there's so few movies with like humans that are not princess films. And I think it's too soon to do like a Big Hero 6 film. But down the road, like a long time down the road, if they did like a live action Big Hero 6, I'd be down.
Yeah, I think that would actually work really well with like just in general, like whenever the Marvel universe or whenever like not the Marvel universe but this like Avengers team of movies kind of has its end, they're gonna need something new to kind of supplement what audience they were getting from that.
I would love, actually, you know what's funny is I would maybe not love to see them in their own movie, but I would love to see a little cameo. Like if they were in the city, like if they went to San Francisco or something, and
they saw like a big like robot for sale in the window.
yeah, something like that, or like they met a kid named Hero, you know, and like he pointed them in the right direction or something.
Could Hero, like Hiro Nakamura, right? That's his name? No.
I think you're thinking the pro wrestler.
Oh no! No!
I've turned Angie into a pro wrestling fan.
Is Chris in the
No, he's
Is
not.
Chris in the chat?
His name's Hiro Hamada.
Hiro Hamada? Oh god, I watched Wrestling Mania.
WrestleMania.
WrestleMania this last weekend with Josh and Chris, and I was like just as vocal as they were. Let me
it's
just
true.
say. Real quick, I just want to say because Jay just popped up in the chat. He's the Story Geeks. Hans also popped up in the chat. I want to say hi to both of you. But if you want to check out what the Story Geeks is, you should because they're a lot like us. Josh is actually doing Gold Blooming, which is our Friday serial show on Network 1901 on the podcast feed. So anywhere you listen to podcasts, go over, find Network 1901, and then under, like, anything that's in the Network 1901 feed is everything we're doing. So, even though we have the show called Gold Blooming, don't search for Gold Blooming, search for Network 1901, find the Gold Blooming episodes within that, and listen to them all there. We also, or I guess that show is being done with Jay Shearer from the Story Geeks. And then Josh is also, they're recording supplement episodes with their Gold Blooming episodes to go on
Patreon.
On Patreon. Okay, so check out our Patreon. But I was going to say on the Story Geeks. So check out the Story Geeks. But let's move on to more films. So Benson says a live action Big Hero 6 would be cool. Peter says Coco. You know what? I think it's too soon for Coco.
It's too soon.
But
I don't know if any Pixar film would work besides The Incredibles, but obviously that's too soon.
I think Coco, and this might be my bias because Coco is one of. So we did the brackets with the Story Geeks last week. which go over to the Story Geeks YouTube page and watch us doing the brackets. We did it
live.
If you have
like an hour, yeah.
Yeah. Or if you don't, skip to the end if you want to see the ending. Skip to like the last, like go halfway.
Yeah, we fought pretty good about it.
Yeah. We physically fought each other on our thing. So if you want to see us physically fighting on, I'm just kidding. Yeah, whatever you said just took me off course of what I was going to say, so I'm not going to finish my thought. But Hans says, oh yeah, Hans brings up Pete's Dragon. I don't think I brought up that as one of the remakes we just got.
Even though it was like already kind of a live action film, but it was a remake.
Yeah.
In a live
but
action
the way that they did Elliot in that movie, like I love how they can make like an animal look with CG. Benson said The Incredibles may be the only one, and even that's a stretch. That's actually a good point. That could be like
Pixar's hard.
Yeah. So anyway, Josh, why don't you go on to your what other one would you like to see?
I know this one's coming down the pike, and there's actually, I think, a couple of different movie studios trying to do some kind of mermaid film in the next few years. But The Little Mermaid just seems like it would be fun and entertaining, and I would want it to be different from the original. Like, I wouldn't want Sebastian to be over the top
like
Jamaican,
a stereotype.
Like a stereotype Jamaican. I would want Ariel to maybe look a bit more fish-like in her mermaid form, and then be this beautiful woman in her human form.
So do you want like mermaid from like Pirates of the Caribbean?
Sort of, yeah. And maybe like their hands be more connected, gill-like and stuff like that. So
I was just trying to make it gross, but I actually just have a question for you.
Ooh.
Of if you think this would be a good live action remake.
Shoot me.
Would you think Hunchback would be a good live action remake?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Why they won't do Hunchback is because I feel like Hunchback of Notre Dame right now, if they were to do it right now, would be way more like if they did the animated film right now, would be way less religious, way less political. For whatever reason, they just got real ballsy, right? And we're like, we're gonna put this movie out. And I think they would definitely tone it down. So if anybody was going to do the Hunchback of Notre Dame, I wouldn't want Disney to do it. I would want like Universal to do it or something.
Forgive me if I pronounce this wrong. Nui Moni said, every old Disney movie that they can make more modern or give more depth, like they did with Jungle Book. I think that's a great idea, or a great point.
Yeah,
I think almost any Disney animated movie could be remade into a live action film and done right if you're giving the characters more depth.
Yeah.
But let's now say some of the ones that we've got, some of the ones that we're getting, and if we think those were good choices, and if something went wrong with the ones that we've gotten, what went wrong?
Okay.
So just real quick.
Oh, we're gonna fight. We're gonna fight. I know.
Okay. So Benson's already doing it. So they, I like how they added on to Beauty and the Beast.
With the Beast getting his own song, I felt like he had a bit more depth. Yeah.
And then we have another Peter. So Peter Carrero was one. Now we have Peter Byrne. Now says I love the live action Jungle Book. So I think I agree. Live action Jungle Book, loved it. But I think a lot of people didn't.
Yeah, I think what you have to do with these movies is pretend like the animated movies didn't exist.
Yeah.
Because we so harshly judge these remakes based on the older versions.
Yeah.
But we don't base the new King Kong on the old King Kong, or even the new Planet of the Apes on the old Planet of the Apes. So we just have to kind of pretend that these don't exist. And if you pretend that the old Jungle Book doesn't exist, I love this Jungle Book.
Sure. What about Maleficent? Because that one, I think Maleficent was the most polarizing of the remakes.
Yes.
I think it also became, so I feel like the live action remake trend is something that just started in the last decade, right? I don't know when Maleficent came out necessarily, the exact date. Maybe it was 2000 and 14, 15.
Somewhere in there, yeah. I guess you could really say it starts, even though it wasn't a remake, it was kind of a sequel.
Right.
Is Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland.
Okay. So I feel like maybe because that was so successful, people really started to latch on, I think, to, or like, not people, but like the Disney company really started to latch on this idea of live action remakes around that time, right?
Yeah.
Like, those were kind of the first ones. And I think they're like, I think Cinderella did really well. I think a lot of people would agree Cinderella did really well and Beauty and the Beast did really well. You're going to always have the critics, especially when comparing it to the animated films.
I think what works with Beauty and the Beast and Cinderella is that they stay more true to the original than not, and they kind of like what we were saying here is that they take what's already there and then they add a bit more to it. And Benson's right in saying that in the chat, saying that Maleficent isn't necessarily a live action remake, but it's taking elements from the animated film, right? Because Maleficent, her horns and everything, like that is the Maleficent from the animated film, and kind of add more to that character and add depth to it. But I just didn't like where it went.
Yeah, and like Nui Moni said, I'd love for Disney to remake Sleeping Beauty and do it justice, not like they did with Maleficent. So I think, again, like, that's that thing is, like, are we doing these films justice? Like,
Are we doing the animated films justice?
Yeah, because we're taking these classic films that everybody, like, we have these personal connections to these films. Not only, like, the time in our life when we first saw these films, but we have a connection to Disney animation in general.
Yeah.
We have a loyalty to Disney film. Automatically, if you hear a Disney film's coming out, you love it. You love it immediately, right? Or you hate it.
To a certain extent, yeah.
Or you hate it. Either way, like, either strong emotion that you feel, it's because you have this connection to these characters, to the company, to the art form. And I think a lot of people, when you hear live action remake, it's like you're trashing on this art form of animation. So if you're gonna do that, you better do it right.
I think, like, the Red Reviewer came in and said that no Disney movie should be turned into live action.
Yeah, so exactly what I just said. Like, I feel like that's the reason.
There are people who are definitely like that, and, like, I am to an extent, although I will say I did love Cinderella. Cinderella, out of all the remakes that they've done, has been my favorite. Mm-hmm. I think it's because of the costuming was amazing, the casting was really good, and I felt like the film added layers that the original didn't. Beauty and the Beast stayed more and more true to the original than Cinderella did, and although I loved it and I loved, like, the new songs, if you were to put those two movies in front of me, I would choose Cinderella. Okay,
but here's what Hans says. Lindsay Lohan wants to be Ariel.
No, that's... I don't know who gets the reason I think I love Cinderella is because they didn't choose huge A-list stars. And, like, at least to me, like, you had people who were from big shows, like the princess from Game of Thrones, one of the Stark kids.
Yeah.
But
Robb Stark, right?
Yeah, Robb.
Yeah. I can't think of the actor's name, but
but, like, that's totally different than having Hermione Granger as Belle. Like, most people still see her as Hermione. You can't not see her as that. And so if you were to put Lindsay Lohan in that role, it would be like, it's just Lindsay Lohan.
Right.
You know, like, but if you were to choose somebody who was maybe a B-list or C-list celebrity from TV and kind of bring them to prominence in a role like
if you
Ariel.
find someone who's actually a mermaid,
if you could find a real mermaid, sure, yeah, but that's going to be a difficult task.
But I think it brings up a good point, and I think this is the last point that I want to make. If you have more points, that's fine. But last point I want to make is I think that even when a live action remake kind of bombs in the box office, and even if it becomes a cult classic later, I think that it's worth noting that we haven't let it skew our idea of the original film. So, like, let's use Maleficent as a good example because I think that's the one that, like, bombed the most so far. So maybe, like, Pete's Dragon has too. But as far as, like, a classic Disney film that everybody loves.
Sleeping Beauty. Yeah.
Is,
I mean, the castle is just down the street from us.
Right. So, but the release of Maleficent hasn't skewed our impression of any of these characters.
Sure.
Beauty and the Beast is newer. It has skewed our version of these characters a little bit by giving us a deeper look. And
I can't watch the animated film without thinking of the live action film now.
Specifically the Beast.
Yeah.
Specifically the Beast's arc. That they don't really give you a lot of... Like, the personal heartache that the Beast has.
Yeah.
They don't give you that in the animated film. So, like, live action can do well to kind of, like, further those characters. But if it doesn't, I don't think we hold it as, like, canon. Right? Like, that's the whole point, is you're destroying our universe by making a live action remake that's different.
Right.
A different story.
Jay from the Story Geeks says that his choice for a live action remake would be The Emperor's New Groove, and you know who would be great as Kuzco?
Oh my!
On the recent episode of Goldbluming, we were talking about The Fly, but like at the end of each show, we're doing this. What would Jeff Goldblum do? And we talked about like if you were gonna insert Jeff Goldblum into any movie, what would it be? And any Disney movie, what would it be? And I said if they were gonna redo a movie as a remake, and I know that they've already cast Will Smith as the genie, but if they could cast Jeff Goldblum as the genie,
yeah,
that'd be great. Or if they did Hercules, he would be a great Hades.
Yes.
Just saying.
Yeah, but you just gave away what you say on this week's episode of Goldbluming.
Oh, but Goldbluming, it's a fantastic show.
But you should listen to it anyway. It's actually the newest episode. I almost said hour. Oh. I guess. Do I get to take ownership of Goldbluming too? Could I say hour?
Sure.
Our latest episode of Goldbluming just went up last night, and they actually talk about that on the episode. Do you talk about it on the episode, or do you talk about it on the Patreon?
On
episode? What you just said, like the
that's
genie.
in the episode.
So if you want to listen to like what they say, kind of in the entirety, you should go and like download the episode.
Yeah, we talk about a bunch of stuff.
If you don't listen to podcasts and you want to try out the podcast,
Goldbluming is a fun one.
Goldbluming is a great place to start. And if you don't want to like download iTunes or like Stitcher or Podbean or like any of those, you can actually just go to network1901.com. There's a link right on the front page to podcasts. Click on that, and right after you get to that link, it'll bring you to all of the different podcasts that we do, because we have 2 shows that are always going on. We have the DCC and we have Modern Mouse Radio. DCC gets posted on Monday, Modern Mouse Radio gets posted on Wednesday, but on Friday we have a rotating show, so you're going to want to check out all those rotating shows as well as the DCC and Modern Mouse Radio. Yeah. But the DCC is like, I think like the show that's most like what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Because Dale also posts the video of the DCC on Mondays on the YouTube channel. So if you're not the type of person that wants to really like get into podcasting, or you're not sure if you want to, DCC is a great place to start if you want to try it out in video form, and then decide if you want to go do podcasts, and then from there download Goldbluming as your first podcast, as well as the DCC, to see if you want to get into podcasting. But other than that, we're going to actually turn the show over to the portion where we do our Q&A.
Yeah.
So this, you guys can continue the conversation that we're talking about right now, or you can ask us any questions that you have. But make sure you stick around to the end of the show. Don't like tune out right now, because at the end of the show, Josh is going to stay in the chat and talk to you guys just about whatever you guys want to talk about.
Yeah, stick around in the chat
but
for a few
right
minutes.
now, while I am talking on and on and on, I want you to start giving us suggestions of what you'd like to see. Not in next week's show, because next week might be like very specifically on Dapper
Just
Day.
Dapper
It's gonna
Day,
be
yeah.
weird.
Yeah, it's gonna be a weird show, but it's gonna be
for
fun.
Any shows after that, start giving us ideas of shows that you'd like to see us do on Saturday Morning Live. And while you guys are doing that, let me just plug Dapper Day a little bit more.
Sure, go for it.
Because
this is going to be an awkward moment.
we've been working really hard.
We've been working really, really hard. We're debuting a whole new set of ears and bow ties and hair bows that are more 50s, 60s type sounding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know. So these are a couple examples of the new line that we're gonna have. I haven't had a chance to like clean up all the little threads and stuff, but these are 2 examples of our new line. We have about 10 products total of each type of thing. Here's our bow tie that will match these ears. So we're gonna have most of our ears will have bow ties and hair bows to match. So if you're interested in picking something up in person and you're going to be at Dapper Day, perfect opportunity. Come find us.
Perfect.
Because we're going to be there selling. And our booth will be obvious because it'll be a lot of this stuff going on.
Yeah.
Plus we'll be there. And, you know, Shannon and Dale and you and me, all 4 of us, we have really tried to step up our hair game.
Oh, no.
You just got a new haircut.
I do. I'm wearing a hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can't see it.
Sorry.
Dale just dyed his hair. It's kind of like an ever-changing look right now, but it's like it's going between like this like platinum, icy silver, bluish
Yeah.
like he basically looks like a wrestling person that I won't even say because now I know wrestling references. He looks like Corey Graves. If you want to look up Corey Graves.
Corey Graves, cool dude.
Shannon continuously steps up her hair game. I am stepping up my hair game for Dapper Day.
What?
Right? This look right now is not how it's going to look on Dapper Day. So if you want to see what my hair is going to look like for Dapper Day. But right now, I'm going to make a poll on Twitter. And I want you guys to help me.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to convince Josh to dye his hair
Oh, no.
electric blue.
Oh, God.
So, I'm going to put a picture up of electric blue hair. And I'm going to put a poll on Twitter.
Okay.
Should Josh dye his hair electric blue for Dapper Day?
Is this on @Network1901 or @Modern
Network 1901's Twitter. And I want you guys to go over there and tell us. I'm going to put the poll up right exactly at the end of the show, so don't forget to go do it. And how many votes? How much percentage of a yes? How many votes and how much of a percentage will you dye your hair?
People are already saying I'm screwed because they're already going to vote.
This is, by the way, this is the first time I'm saying this to Josh. He knows that I want him to dye his hair blue, but he doesn't know that I was about to make a poll on Twitter. And
okay, if there's a 70%, yes. Then
but
I'll
how
do
many
it.
votes does there have to be? Because I could go and I could go on every Twitter that I have access to and just say yes.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure.
How many votes does there have to be?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Peter's been asking a few times, and he's asked, "What are your thoughts on the 2020 live-action Mulan?" I believe I'm really excited about this, and when they announced that there's no music, and I kind of said this early in the show, when they announced there's going to be no musical numbers, a lot of people were upset about it. I'm actually really happy about it because I don't want this big. I'm thinking this movie is going to be more like Gladiator, right? It's going to be kind of gritty and dirty and a little bit. They want to have this female empowerment, but they need to show a serious war happening.
Mm-hmm. And songs kind of can sometimes make somebody softer, right?
It can make the movie silly. We just watched for Goldblum. We just watched Earth Girls Are Easy, and it was a musical, and it was just silly, right?
Yeah.
Any movie, even when it's trying to be serious, like Les Mis.
I was just going to bring up Les Mis.
Les Mis is a drama, and it's dark.
Yeah, it's they're singing now.
But there's something kind of uplifting when people sing. Yeah. And I don't think you need that in the middle of a huge battle.
Yeah, you can understand what she's going through without song, right? That's songs should only be in a film if it carries the movie along. If it carries the story along. So maybe it's better that they don't have the music.
What are your thoughts on the upcoming Disney streaming service? Will it work out or not? What do you think, Angie?
You know, I guess it's kind of hard to say. I haven't really seen exactly like what the platform is going to look like. I think it could work really well. I think it's going to be more successful for parents with children. Obviously, parents have children. Parents with young children, like toddler age.
Sure.
Because I think right now we're in an age where like parents are trusting like the YouTube Kids app.
Sort of these days. And
it's okay. So say like maybe a couple years ago, people were trusting the YouTube Kids app.
Yeah. This is definitely going to be trusted.
And things are starting to be things are starting to go a little weird with that app. Like the certain things that are. If you want to know more about it, just like do some research. Like there's weird stuff popping up on the YouTube Kids app.
Benson said all parents would have children. Not necessarily true. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but if you had children and then they are taken away from you or have died, then you're still a parent, right? If you reverse, if you reverse.
No, I agree. I just don't want to answer you.
If you reverse, I
don't want to encourage this.
If you reverse Disney it, right, instead of killing the parents, like if Frozen was where you killed Anna and Elsa at the beginning and the rest of the movie was about the parents, how would you feel?
I mean, I guess that's what Finding Nemo is. Except child survived.
Except for like Nemo doesn't die. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if Nemo died and Marlin just went off and like the movie ended where he found like a dead Nemo, tragic but interesting story. Just saying.
And then Marlin goes and finds Timon and Pumbaa and they're like, Hakuna Matata.
Why? What?
Because you just made it the Lion King and Mufasa dying, but the other way around.
What if Simba died and Mufasa had to go and like
and then Pumbaa
Scar.
And Timon were like, Hakuna Matata, and then like
you're just trying to make my sad movie happy.
And then Mufasa got like these like crazy dreads.
There's no happier Disney song in the history of Disney songs than Hakuna Matata.
Yeah, but he would like have dreads, and he'd have like. He'd definitely be burning, like, some incense. He'd become a Californian. I think Timon and Pumbaa are a good example of, like, what a Californian is.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Like,
no worries.
Hippy-dippy.
No worries, bruh.
Like, it's all good. Like, we're all just, it's, worries, man. Like.
I know that people probably don't get this reference. If you listen to Goldbluming or watch this movie, but if you watch Earth Girls Are Easy, the pool guy,
yes,
he's
the
pool
Californian.
Guy.
He is like the, like exactly, yeah. That would be Mufasa.
Yeah.
Mufasa would turn into that. But I think we have exhausted this.
Yeah, definitely.
What we have to say.
It took a weird turn for sure. What we
have to say about this, but other than that, yeah, check out everything we're doing over on network1901.com. Can you tell us some of the stuff that we're doing over there, Josh?
Of course. We've got the DCC, which I'm recording later with Dale. We've got Modern Mouse Radio, which this week we talked about Knott's Berry Farm. Myself and Jeff Heimbuck talks about Knott's Berry Farm. Goldbluming is going on right now, but you can go to network1901.com and listen to all of our podcasts from the past.
You should, too, because they're all good.
And then we've got tons of videos.
That's the tagline. They're all good.
They're all good. We dropped the ball on yesterday's video, but we've got tons of videos coming out all the time on our YouTube channel. And follow us on our social things, especially at Network 1901 on Instagram and Twitter. Yeah.
And if you're in town in Anaheim, April 21st through 22nd, make sure you check out our booth at Dapper Day. So Dapper Day, the way they do it is they actually have some events going on like within the park and in downtown Disney, I believe, so you don't have to have a park ticket to necessarily join. You might have to. Go to dapperday.com. All the information is there, but where we're actually going to be is inside of the Disneyland Hotel Convention Center. That's where our booth will be. It's going to be a $10 entrance fee for the whole weekend. And once you get in, you can check out. They have so much stuff going on at that convention center. Last year we went, and I was like, I don't pay $10 to like
it was great.
Look at 3 booths.
Yeah, there's tons of booths.
We went in, and it was like, oh, like there's entertainment. They have like swing dancing going on. They have live bands. They have fashion shows. They have like all the booths in there. Even if you're not like interested in buying something, it's really fun to go in and like see all the styles and like
you can get a haircut.
You can get
your nails done. You can get your hair done.
Yeah, and you can like they have like dressing rooms inside. So if there's like any clothing you want to try on, just to even like maybe you want to get into that style of dress and you don't necessarily know where to start, just go there and like try on some clothing. Maybe buy something. You know, like the clothing is kind of on a pricier point. Like it's not Forever 21. You know, it's not H&M. You're gonna pay a good price for good quality structured clothing.
Right.
Buy like a piece, you know, buy an outfit. Go Saturday, buy an outfit for Sunday. Like that's like kind of like when you get in there, that's what you're gonna want to do. Yeah. So join us, $10 to get in. Check out what we have going on. Come say, even if you don't want to buy something, like we don't expect everybody who comes up to talk to us at our booth to buy something.
Sure. Yeah.
Like you can just come and like say hi. Like we would love if you came and said hi to us.
And if you can't make it because you're not from California or you're not going to be in California, make sure to check out next week's live show because I'll be on the floor at the expo and we can kind of check out some stuff.
Yeah, and all the stuff that we're going to have on sale at Dapper Day is actually Dapper Day is our debut of our brand new line. So if you liked the ears that we were showing before, Lagadeers, then you will be able to buy these online if you don't get to buy them in person.
Why'd you put them next to your head?
Because I don't want to put them on because these aren't
sell
mine.
Them. Yeah, sure.
I don't want to like give my cooties to anyone else, you know?
Yeah, you'd have tons of cooties, that's for sure.
But yeah, check out modernmouseboutique.com. Don't have these up yet. We'll have them up for Dapper Day.
Yeah.
But other than that, until next time, thank you guys so much for watching. Stick around in the chat. Josh will be in the chat talking for the next like 10-15 minutes. Do you have anything else left to say?
Hakuna Matata.
Okay, until next time, hurry back.
Keep on moving, people.
Now this is the outro song.